The sun was barely up when Rowan Hale pushed open the glass doors of Stratus Tech Tower, his janitor's keycard flickering green as he stepped inside. He carried the weight of 1,000 sleepless mornings in his eyes, yet something about this day felt heavier. Maybe it was the stack of overdue medical bills sitting on the kitchen counter, or the silent worry etched across his 8-year-old daughter's face as she asked if he would be home early tonight. But Rowan knew something else waited for him inside these marble halls, something no one would see coming. Because within the next few hours, this quiet, exhausted single dad would change a $100 million disaster into a miracle, and the CEO who once looked past him would be forced to confront the truth. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories where the underdog rises, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Midnight Reports. Your support helps bring more stories like this to life. Rowan moved from floor to floor with practiced routine, his cleaning cart squeaking faintly as he wiped fingerprints from glass, emptied bins, and straightened forgotten chairs. He had a natural calmness, something life had carved into him after years of balancing night shifts, pediatric appointments, and the quiet ache of loneliness since his wife passed 3 winters ago. People rarely noticed him, but he noticed everything. The small failures others ignored, the systems that could be better, the patterns in chaos. Because before life broke him down into a janitor's uniform, Rowan had been something else, an engineer with an eye for solving problems others didn't even see. He never talked about it. Not after the layoffs. Not after the accident. Not after he became both father and mother to little Mira. But every time he passed the rows of humming server racks on the 34th floor, something inside him flickered, the memory of who he used to be. That morning, the office wasn't its usual quiet. Something tense hung in the air like static. Stratus Tech's brightest minds were pacing, whispering frantically, clutching tablets and phones with pale faces. Rowan heard the words system failure, project collapse, and most alarming, 100 million on the line. But he kept moving. Trouble wasn't his job. Not anymore. Then he saw her, CEO Marissa Vale. Sharp, demanding, brilliant, and always too busy to even glance his direction. Today, her composure was cracked. If we don't recover the prototype data, we lose everything, she whispered to her executive team. 2 years of work. Our investors are already calling. No one can fix it. Rowan felt a slow chill crawl up his spine. The way they described the problem, it wasn't new to him. It was technical, structural, and painfully familiar. He tried to stay focused on emptying a trash bin, but the more he listened, the more one truth hit him: he knew the solution. Marissa stormed toward the server lab, her heels striking the floor with urgency. As she passed Rowan, she said nothing, not a glance, not a nod. But Rowan spoke anyway, almost against his better judgment. The redundancy locks, he murmured softly. They're loop conflicting. You'll never get access back unless you break the mirror cycle. Marissa stopped. Slowly turned. Confused. Irritated. What? She snapped. Rowan swallowed hard. He regretted speaking instantly. People like her didn't want advice from people like him. But one of the engineers, a frazzled man named Corin, suddenly froze. Wait, what did you say? He asked, stepping closer. Rowan repeated it quietly, and the engineer's eyes widened as if he had just seen a ghost. He's right. In minutes, Rowan was pulled into the server lab, a place he hadn't set foot in since losing his previous career. Screens flashed red warnings everywhere. Millions of dollars in confidential development data was basically trapped in a self-corrupting vault. The team had tried everything, but Rowan saw the real issue immediately: a misaligned failsafe script that no one thought could break. He sat at a workstation slowly, almost reverently, his hands trembling not from fear but from remembering. He typed a string of commands, paused, adjusted one detail, executed another sequence, and then hit enter. The room fell silent. Across every monitor, the screen shifted from red to gold. Then green. The system rebooted cleanly, every file, every prototype, every blueprint restored. Rowan had solved a $100 million catastrophe in less than 60 seconds. No one breathed. No one spoke. Even Marissa's usually unreadable expression cracked completely. She looked stunned, almost humbled. How did you do that?" she whispered. Rowan simply said, "I used to work with frameworks like this. Before life got complicated." The engineering staff erupted with disbelief and admiration, gathering around him like he was made of light. But Rowan didn't bask in the moment. He quietly stepped back, ready to return to his cleaning cart, his real world. But Marissa Vale wasn't letting him walk away. She followed him out of the lab, her voice softer than he had ever heard. "Rowan, why are you a janitor? Why didn't anyone know you could do that?" Rowan paused in the hallway. "Because sometimes life forces you to take a different path," he said gently. "And sometimes people only see the uniform, not the person wearing it." Those words struck her deeply. She asked him to come to her office. Rowan hesitated. He didn't want trouble, didn't want false hope, but he followed anyway. Inside, she asked everything: his past, his daughter, his lost career, his exhaustion. And for the first time in years, Rowan told the truth. Marissa listened. Truly listened. And when he finished, she made a decision that would echo across the entire company by noon. She offered him a full engineering position on the spot, high salary, flexible hours so he could care for Mira, full benefits, and her personal mentorship. Not as charity. Not as pity. But because he deserved it. Because he saved them all. When Rowan stepped out of her office later, employees applauded him from the corridors. People who never noticed him now looked at him with awe. But Rowan didn't think about the praise. All he thought about was Myra's smile when he would tell her that everything was going to change. That their struggle was finally easing. That her dad was coming home early from now on. And somewhere deep inside him, the version of himself he thought he lost finally breathed again.